What I'm doing is, okay, I want to work with my Visual Studio Code. I want to work with, right? I need to download the Visual Studio software. So you can say Visual Studio Code, okay, and then you can type download. Is it typing the download is optional for you? Just you can say Visual Studio Code. You say it. Now you'll be getting the code here. You'll be getting a link code.visualstudio.com. Okay, right? Select this. I'm opening that particular URL. I'm opening it. So now I'm getting the Visual Studio Code. 1 second. Yeah, so this is my Visual Studio Code is my, okay. Now I want to download it for Windows. I want to download. So you can select this. By default, what happens generally, it selects the operating system what you are using in. Like for example, here by default it is showing that I'm using Windows operating system. So it's going to show me the Windows operating system. Let us say you are using a different operating system. So click on the drop down button there. So once I click on this drop down button, so you see different operating system versions are going to be shown for you, right? So like you want to use it for Linux, or you want to use it for the Mac, you want to use it, you can use that. The software you can select, the OS you can select, what you call the operating system can be selected, and you can download it. Now let us say that I don't want to work with this Visual Studio Code, I don't want to work. Then simple thing what you can do is, there is one software called Notepad is there, so which is available for you with your system. So once I'm installing my Windows operating system, along with the Windows operating system, this simple text editor, what you call Notepad, is available with you on your machine. Select this one, so it will open your, then it gives me a screen, so where you can start typing your program and all that. Remember when I'm typing in, okay, I'm typing my HTML, okay, every line of code you'll be typing it. So we'll be typing, every line of code has to be typed. So for example, closing tag, opening tag, all these you are typing it on your own. So manually I need to type it, all the code has to be typed when I'm working with my Notepad. So whereas the same thing when you look into your, when you're working with your Visual Studio Code, I'm working. So in the Visual Studio Code, I'll just jump to the Visual Studio Code now, I'll jump. Now I'm starting a new program, I'm starting it. Okay, I'll just save this one as sub program name, I'm stopping and typing in. Okay, let us say, I'll say c2.html, I'm giving it some name, I'm giving. Okay, now if you look there, .html, okay, sorry, something is wrong with this. Okay, I'll do one thing, I'll just close, I'll open a folder there. So actually it's not supposed to give the extension .txt should not be given the extension. So if you are giving the .txt extension, that it's not going to identify it's an HTML page. So generally what will happen is all your programs, whatever you're typing it, or any files that you're going to create on your system, they are being identified with their extensions. The first part is going to be the primary name. The second part is going to be the extension. That is, for example, when you talk about this one, what do you call, 1 minute, okay, right. So my file is, I'll just, and this has given me a c2.html4 like that it has given. I'll rename this file. I'm just giving the file name as c2.html. I'm giving it. Okay. So this file, right, I'm selecting the file called c2.html. Now advantage, you just have a look at the things. Now I'm typing HTML. Then automatically the closing tag is given for us. Understood? Then not only that, we have what you call few extensions can be added, that you can have the enhancement can be done for the editor, you can have the enhancement can be done. Like for example, I'm using exclamatory mark, I'm using it. So it is going to have the expand, the extensions called emmet extension are there. Now I'm just pressing the tab key. I have typed the exclamatory mark and then I'm pressing the tab key. You see automatically the basic structure of your HTML page is going to be given for us. Right, the basic structure is given for us, what you call the doc type, okay, the language type, the head section, the body section is automatically given for me. So I need not to waste my time in typing all these things, okay, which are default for any programming, any HTML page that you're designing. So these things are common to all these HTML pages. So I need not to waste my time in typing all this. What I can do, I can make use of the facilities which are being given in my editor. My editor is having this kind of facility, I can make use of it. So this is what the advantages we are having it when I'm going to use a software like the Visual Studio Code is there. Similarly to this one, we can also have one more kind of software like Notepad++. I'm going to have it, or Edit++. And these softwares like Notepad++, Edit++ are also helpful for us. Like for example, I just close this Notepad. I'm just not working about this Notepad. Now I want to work with the Notepad++. Let me check Notepad++ is there on my machine or not. Okay, I'm just typing Notepad. No, it is not showing me that Notepad++. No, it's not there. It's not installed on my machine. Notepad++ is not there. Okay, it's also a simple software. It's an open source software, what you call the Notepad++. You can also use that. Okay, now if you want to use that Notepad++, just simply use Notepad++, you type it. You can select what you want to use it. Like you want to use a 64-bit or you want to use the 32-bit you want to use. You can just select that and you press Notepad++ and just search for it. And automatically you can see now it's going to give me a link is going to be given notepad++.org. This is my link. Okay, so you can use this clicking on this particular link. So once I click on that particular link, now you see, one second. Once I click on the link, now you see that, where is it? It's gone. Okay, now you can see that the Notepad++ is going to be given for me. You can download the Notepad++. Which version you want to download, you just click on that. So the download will be starting on your machine. So we are having the latest version 8.14 it is. You can click on this, the download will start for you. You can also make use of the Notepad++ for typing of your HTML document. The same features what we have in our your Visual Studio Code. Similarly, that kind of facilities will be also available for us in our Notepad++. More or less the same features will be available for you. Some features may not be there and some features may be there. More or less the same features you'll be finding it in Notepad++ also. Or I can also have another kind of software like Edit++. Remember, I'm having the Edit++ is there. So Edit++ is also, it's a proprietary software again. Remember, Edit++ is a proprietary software. So you cannot have, if you want to use it, you need to have the, you have to purchase a license version has to be paid. You have to purchase that. It's better not to use a software like Edit+. We may have more features maybe there in Edit+, but okay, more or less it's okay for me because I'm using it for my learning purpose. I'm using it. Then it's always better you go with the software like Visual Studio Code. You can go with, or you can go with the Notepad++, right? Remember these softwares like Notepad++ and Visual Studio Code. So these softwares not only used for the HTML typing, you can also use them for typing the programs like Java programs. You can use them. You can also type the C# programs. Different programming languages you can also make use of them. Okay, right? So the software like Visual Studio Code, right? You can make use of it not only for HTML program typing, but you can also use them for C, C++, C#, Java, all the different programming languages can be typed in. So when you want to use it, you can use it for anything like you want to have it. Okay. So that is the advantage of the Visual Studio Code for us. Okay. Like we have so many different extensions are there, what we call them as Visual Studio Code extensions are there. You can make use of it and you can start typing in your programs. You may ask me a question like what extension I need to use it. Nothing to worry. You create a new file in your system. Automatically it identifies what is the system, what's the file type you are going to create it, and then it will suggest you the extensions. Everything are going to be suggested by itself. It will suggest. You can download those extensions and you can start working on those extensions with your Visual Studio Code for us. Okay. Now I'll type my program here by using my Visual Studio Code, or you can type it using Notepad, whatever it is you want to type it. You can use the software and you can type the program. So once programming is being done, that is typing of the code is going to be done. What you call the website design is being done there. Then, so you can see the output in your any browser can be made use of, and you can see the output. Now, which browser I have to use? Not necessary that you have to use always Chrome need not be used. You can use any browser you want, you can make use of it. So like for example, okay, I want to use a browser like Edge, I want to use it. So now remember, if you're using the Windows 10 operating system, and then Edge is a default, is a software, or what you call it, it's a browser software which is available on your machine. You can open the Edge. So what I'm doing is I'm just using the start button. I've pressed the start button. Then I'm typing Edge there. So it is going to show me the Edge software is going to show me. You can just click on the Edge there. So then what will happen? Automatically you see that the Edge software will be open for you. This is also a browser which will help you to see the output of your HTML documents. Okay. So I want to see the result of my HTML document. You can use Control+O, you can press it. So when I press Control+O, it will help me to select the HTML document which you want to, whose output you want to see it. So for example, I'm using my D drive, I'm using it. So in the D drive, I'm typing my programs in a folder now this. Now in this one, so the programs I'm typing in. So I have typed a program name called C2. I'm just say open it. So only thing is that you need to select the path where your document is present, the path you selected. So automatically you can see. So the HTML page is going to be displayed for us. I just saved it, my web page I'm giving. So and then here I'm asking to refresh. Now remember, whenever you're making some changes in your document, that in your HTML document, you make changes. And then when you come back to the browser, so those changes what you have made in your HTML document, that will not be reflected into your web page, that is in your HTML page. The browser will not be seeing it. You need to refresh it. Okay, or you can use the option what you call reload. So how I am doing it, I'm right click on it. So then I'm selecting an option what you call refresh can be made use of. So here we have the option called refresh is there. That depends upon your system to system. There is a kind of browser what you are going to use. The shortcut keys are going to be slightly different. Like for example, I can make use of Control+R, I can use it. So when I'm using Control+R, okay, before that, so now let us say that here I'm typing, okay, so I'm adding huddle rise, I'm giving it. Then I've saved it. I'm going to the browser, Alt tab, I'm using it to switch from the Visual Studio Code to the browser. So here I'm not seeing that huddle rise, I'm not getting it. So what I do is I'll use Control+R. Okay, you can use F5. It's going to refresh the page for you. Or you can also use Control+R can also be used to reload the web page. The web page reloading can be done using Control+R, or you can use F5 refresh can be made use of, right? Oh, okay. Now I'll open the document what we you were using in the last class. What I'm using. No, sorry, not this one. Yeah, this one. Okay. So this was the document which we're using it last class. Okay. Now let us talk about this one. So how do I type my? How to type? How to type? Or where exactly where to type the HTML pages? So where do we need to type the HTML pages? So what you do is you open any text editor. Any idea what you mean by text editor? You can open any text editor like Notepad. The simplest is Notepad, or you can use Notepad plus plus can be used, or I'm using a software like Visual Code, Visual Studio Code. Okay, I'm using Visual Studio Code. I'm using. You might have heard about MS Word. So yesterday, people were telling that you know the MS Word. Now, in the document that we type in the MS Word, they're called, sorry, the files that we create in the MS Word, they're called documents, we call them as, right? The file that we are creating in our, the editors, the text editors like Notepad, they are called text files, they are called. They are called the text files. But when you talk about the MS Word, the kind of document, the kind of files that we create, they are called the documents. Now, what is the difference between a text file and a document means? The text files will be in the formatted. They'll be in the formatted for us. That means basically what happens is when you talk about the data, the whatever I'm typing it, so that whatever we are doing the typing part, the typing is going to be done in the encrypted format. That it's not in the human readable format, it will not be there. That is, it is encrypted for us. Okay, it is not in the human readable format for me. But whereas when we talk about the text files, right? So they are unformatted for us. Okay, what do you mean by unformatted? They'll be the plain text. They'll be in the plain text as it is, whatever your type, that you'll be seeing it as it is in case of your text files. But whereas when you talk about this MS Word, or you talk about the PowerPoint, or you talk about your Excel, all these things, they're going to have what? The documents are the files that we are going to create in them. They'll be formatted for me. That means they'll be in the encrypted. So they're stored in their own format, which you cannot read it. As a human being, we cannot read that one, and we cannot understand what the concept, what it is. Okay, but still you can read them by using some softwares can be used. You can use them to read them. Okay, let's not worry about that stuff. We'll talk about only about our notepad, what files you are going to create. Okay. Yeah. So any questions are there, you can just ask me, unmute your microphone and let me know. Now, how to see the output? How to see the output of a HTML document? Okay, or what you call the HTML file. How I'm going to see the output of my HTML file for me. Then, so what you do is you open the browser. Okay, first you need to open the browser, right? Browser like Edge, you can make use of Chrome. You can have, can you tell me one latest browser? One latest browser? Brave. We have one browser called a Brave. Now, we have lot many browsers are there. So one of the browser that we have is what you call Brave. You can use Chrome or Edge or Brave or Internet Explorer or Netscape Navigator or UC browser. Okay, like that, so many different browsers are there. You can make use of any of the browser, can be made use of it. Okay, and then, so first you need to open the browser, and then what you need to do. So this is my first step, open the browser. The second step is, so type the address of it. If you know the address, type the address in the address bar. Okay, in the address bar. Okay, I'll switch to the browser. Alt tab I'm using it to switch to the browser. Now this, the first line, what you're going to see it here, right? So this is called the address, right? The line what we are seeing it here now, this is called your address bar. So you can type the address here, what the address you want to have it. Okay, that you need to type the address there. So once you type the address, then what will happen automatically? If you know the address, that means if you know the path of your file, where exactly the file is present, you can give the path there. Then what happens? Automatically that file will be loaded for you onto the browser window. It will be loading it. Okay, if I don't know the path, right? So if when I don't know the path, what I can do is, so when I don't know the browser, I don't know the path here. That what I'm telling. So you just go there and type d colon the file name, d colon backslash where exactly it is present. Okay, so if you remember the path, you can just go there and type the path. Can be, you need to type the path. Okay, c2 dot html. You type the path. See my file. Okay, extension I have given wrong. HTML I'm typing. C2. Okay. What we give the program name? Sorry, one second. Give me a minute. C2.html only. Okay, I have done a spelling mistake. So you can zoom in a little bit. You can to find out that. Okay. So I've typed the file name I've typed. So if you know the path, you just type the complete path. You can type it and you can get it, right? So what I'm talking about, the first step is you can type the address. Go to the address bar and type the address. That is, so you may be typing like d colon something. So okay, finally you'll be typing the file name dot html file I'm giving it. Okay, I'll mute the system for a while. Okay. Okay, so when I know the address, when I don't know the address, what I can do is I can select the address. To select it, I'm going to use what? CTRL plus O. I'm using it. So when I'm pressing this option called CTRL plus O, it will open a dialog box. Okay, this opens the dialog box. This opens the dialog box, and you can select the file. Okay, you can select the file and view it. Understood that you can do it. Or I don't know all these things. Another simple method can also be used. What you can do. So open the file explorer. Okay, you can open the file explorer can be used. Right, open the file explorer. I'll show you how to open the file explorer. So now this yellow button, what you're seeing it on the bottom on my taskbar. So you click on this one. This will open your file explorer. Or if let us say this icon is not available for you on the screen, so what you can do, you can hold the Windows key and press E on your machine. Okay, on your keyboard you hold the Windows key plus E you press. Now this is going to open my file explorer. You can see that on top it's going to give me the title as file explorer. It is giving it. Now once you open the file explorer, okay, so the shortcut we have for the file explorer is Windows key plus E. I'm having it. Okay, if you press the Windows key and E, it will open the file explorer, right? Or you can click on the yellow button, what is there for us, which is showing you the explorer symbol. You can click on that. It opens the explorer. Now, once the explorer is open, okay, I'll just click on this. The explorer, once it is open, now you can select the path, the file where exactly it is present. So I have typed it in D drive. So I'm having a folder called HTML folder is there. So once I select this HTML folder, you can see now it's going to show me the different files are going to be shown. Now here I'm seeing my file called C2. I'm going to say it. This is the file which I've created called c2.html file. Now simply give a double click on it. Then automatically what will happen? It will be opening, that file will be opened for you. The file will be open. You can see it in the browser there. So by default, we have some browsers will be there. You'll be seeing in the default browsers will be seeing it. Okay, right, done it, understood that. So if I want, if I don't know the path and all that stuff, how do I work it? Then open the file explorer, then go to that path, go to the location, or go to the folder, so where you have saved your file, where we saved the file. Okay, and double click on it. Okay, and double click on it, it will be opening for you, right? So that is a simple method. Any method you can make use of it. So you can open your files can be opened, right? So am I clear? So understood everybody how we are going to work with this, where we are going to type the, how to type it, where to type it. Okay, so where to save your programs, you can save it anywhere wherever you want it. A normal plain HTML document, you can save it anywhere. But when I'm going to create a website and all that, so it is better you put them all into one folder and then you can start accessing them, can be done. So it's always better is put all your related files into one folder and then start accessing them, right? So that we can avoid the confusion where they are present and all that stuff can be avoided. Clear? So you understood where you are going to type your, how you are going to type your program. Okay. I'm going to type my programs. I'm going to make use of any editors can be made use of, like the Notepad, like the editors like Notepad can be made use of, or Notepad++, Visual Studio Code, Edit++, Edit Plus, Eclipse. So many different types of editors are there. So we can make use of it. Okay, those editors can be used and you can get the work done. Or no, let us say that you are done little work, you have learned something. So after learning something, again do I need to type again I have to type this code and all that, means no, not necessary to do that one. Okay, so what is an alternate for this one? So we have what you call the HTML soft. We have some softwares are there which will help me to generate my HTML page. Okay, actually we call it as what you see is what you get. You understand what I'm telling? So this is called what you see is what you get, right? So we have something what you call what you see is what you get concept. So in this one, the softwares are there, like which is going to have the what you see is what you get concept. Now in these softwares, what we do is you create the HTML, I mean you create the output, okay, or you design the output, okay, you design the output, and then that software generates the HTML for you, okay, it generates the HTML code for you. Understood what I'm telling? So we have some softwares which we call them what you see is what you get softwares are there. In that we design the output what I wanted, okay, where I want to put my some text, where I want to put, where the image has to be put, everything you design it. Then what will happen? Automatically it is going to give me the HTML code is going to be generated by them, right? One among them software is there, like what you call Dreamweaver, we call it as. So we have one software called Dreamweaver. So Dreamweaver is a proprietary software. So you need to purchase it if you want to use it. Nowadays in net, everything is available, no issues in that. Okay, pirated softwares are available. I'm not talking about that one. No, it is a proprietary software. You need to get the license of it. Instead of that one, I can make use of the open source alternative. Okay, like Blue Griffon. Right? Blue Griffon is there, so that I am going to use it. Now, okay, how to download it? Same thing. So as we are done, go to the browser, any browser, you open it, and then you say the software name, you type it. You just type Blue Griffon download. So once I say this, you can see now the site is getting bluegriffon.org. So then you open that link. Oh, 1 minute. Okay, so once I'm opening the link there. So once I open the link, now you see that the Blue Griffon is going to be open for you. Now here from this, you can download the software. Okay. So different versions are available for you. So without the license, you can have this one is basic license can be used. Almost all the features are there available for you without the license. Okay, then you can say download it. Understood? You can start downloading it. So you can download the Blue Griffon. So for the Windows operating system, for 64-bit operating system, you can download this one. So once you download it, it will be made available for you on your machine, right? Now, I have done it already in my machine. I'm using it. So I'll just minimize all these things. I'm going on to this already. There is a shortcut available for me. My Blue Griffon is there. I'm opening that software. I'll show you how it's going to work for you. Only just basic introduction I'll show you. So I will not go in depth into this one. Okay, so I'm going into the Blue Griffon there. So I'm starting a file menu, and then I select a new document. I'm going to use it. So once I'm going to have the new document, now it's going to show me something. So where the file is going to be created for you. Now here, so there are two things are there. So one is the HTML code, you can have it, or you can have what you call the output. You can see that in this one, the advantage of using this particular software is in the Blue Griffon. You can see as you type your HTML page, automatically you'll be seeing the output is also going to be shown for me. Like I'm selecting the dual view here. So once I'm selecting the dual view, you see that on the right hand side, you're seeing the HTML page. On the left hand side, you're going to see the output there. Now, for example, so what I'm doing is I'm using now, and let me increase a little bit of font size and increase. So I'll zoom in a little bit. Okay, I've zoomed in a little bit there. So I'll type there now. Okay, let us say that I'm typing some Apple computer, I'm giving it. Okay, next I'm using BR there. So after now you see on the left hand side, you see that the output is also generated. Simultaneously, output is going to be generated for you. So then I said, you see automatically the output is given for you on the left hand side. You're going to see the output there. Okay. Now, for example, let us say I'm going to use this Bengaluru. I want to have it font size to be increased. I'm using H1 tag. I'm using it. Okay. So in this H1 tag, I'm placing this text. I'm placing it. You can see it's going to give me the a slightly bigger font. It's going to give me, right? Understood now what I'm telling? So you're able to understand what we are doing it. Similarly, let us say that I want to have the underlining has to be done. I'm going to use a U tag. I'm going to use it. When I'm going to use a U tag, so it is going to do the underlining of the text is going to be done for me. So I want to have the underlining has to be started from Apple and then ended up with the computer there. I want to end that. So I'm ending the /U there. So I don't want it to be extended to the another text also. I don't want to extend. So I'm closing the tag there. Once I close that, so it is going to give the underlining is going to be done only for that. Up to that only it is going to do the underlining for us. Clear? Right? Okay. So any questions here? The blue Griffon and all, you can do the exploration can be done by yourself. So either do this way or you can do the other way. Like for example, I'm going to the Bangalore there. Okay, next line I want to type something. I'm typing in. You type something here, automatically the text will be generated over there. On the right hand side, you'll see the HTML tag is going to be generated. For example, let us say I'm typing, okay, hello, I'm typing. You see that the text is automatically generated over there. The hello text is going to be placed in the paragraph tag. Okay. Now let us say that you want to make this one as an what do you call something extra. We want to have it like, let us say I want to have some what you call text box like thing. I want to have it. Then so what I'm doing is I'm using an option called insert there. So there I want to have an image to be inserted or hyperlink to be inserted. So what you want to insert, you can select the options over here. Right. For example, let us you want to insert an image. So now I'll go to the insert image. Then it will ask me to select the image location where exactly it is. So I'm using my select image option, the button I'm clicking there. Then it will ask me to select my image. Okay, let us select the image. One image will select. Okay, where is my it? Yeah. So I select the image now. Then I click OK. So it's asking me the title and all this. Okay. So description, fine. But it's not selecting. Okay, so I want to have the empty alternate text. Okay, fine, no issues in that. I'm not giving all these things. So, okay, let me remove this. We are talking about the alternate text here. Okay, let us say I'm writing it as logo. Then I click on okay now. You see that. So the text is being, the image is being placed here. So what is the code that is necessary for that? It has given me automatically here on the right hand side. You see that the code is given for us, right? So next to this, I want to have I want to place it in next line. You can just place it in next line. So you can add the new line character can be added over there, right? So like this, these are the kind of softwares which will help me to design my web pages can be designed with minimum knowledge. Okay, you can use them also, right? Okay. So any questions over here? How we are going to use them? So how we are going to, you can explore it on your own. No issues in that. It's a very simple software. Like as you are going to have the MS Word. So in the MS Word, you want to make the text to be bold. You can select it and you click on the B option there. It makes you the bold like that. Here it is most simple thing for us, right? Okay. So just I don't want it to work more on this one. I just close this one. So it'll ask me, do you want to save it? No, I don't want to. I want to discard the changes to my file. Okay. Right. So after learning something, then if you practice, then that will be much better. Okay. Yeah. So any other questions over here now? Okay. Now let us learn something about our HTML part, what we are discussing about. Now remember, when I'm typing something, okay, let us say I'm having my file and c2.html file is there. But actually, when you look in what we have done, the designing work and what the output we are going to get, there is no match for me here. That is what I have placed my first web page in one line. In another line, I am typing the huddle rise I have typed. So I'm typing it in two different lines. I'm doing it. Okay, I'm typing them in the two different lines I'm typing. But when you look into the output of my file now, so when you look into the output, what has happened? So my first web page and huddle rise both are there for me in one line it is. But I have typed it in two lines. Now, why it is so like that? What is happening for me there means because remember, you are using what you are typing it in two lines, but your browser it's going to ignore them. The browser ignores something, it is going to do it. What is going to ignore it? It is going to ignore the, it's called the new line characters, we call it as. They are going to be ignoring the new line character. Understood? So what do you mean by new line character? That what you have pressed there. So in line number 10, you type my first web page, enter, and then line number 11, you are given the huddle rise you type. So this is what you call a new line character. What you have added there, the new line character is going to be ignored. Now, not only it is going to ignore the new line character, the browser is going to ignore the new line characters and white spaces, we call it as. We call it as a white spaces. It's going to ignore the white spaces. So what do you mean by white spaces? Let's see that. Okay, now for example, here I'm having my, and then one white space is there for me. What I'm doing, I'm trying to add more white spaces over here. I'll save my document and then I'll go back to my browser. I'm trying to reload my page. Now when I reload my page, I right click, I'll say refresh. You see that what it's not giving you extra spaces are not there after my, there is only one space is there. That is what I'm telling. The extra spaces that we have added here, okay, those extra spaces we are not seeing it here. When I refresh it, I'm not seeing it here, right? So that is what we are telling, that if the browser is going to ignore the white spaces and the new line characters are going to be ignored for me, right? Browser is going to ignore them. Okay, then comes a question, how do I add the extra spaces if I want to have it? Then what we can do is I can use an entity, we call it as, an entity we call. We have an entity called NBSP. So NBSP is an entity, right? It's a constant. You call it as a constant, or you call it as an entity. So that will generate the new, a blank space is going to be generated. One NBSP will generate one blank space for me. I'll save this. Okay, now I'll refresh my page. Now you see that there is a blank space is added here after the my. Understood? Getting it? So how we are going to get the blank spaces we are going to add. So to add those set of blank spaces, I'm going to use what the entity, what you call it as NBSP entity. I'm going to use it, right? Now after this, okay, let us say after the first page, I want to add a new line character. I want to add. Then we have a tag called BR tag is available. So that will help me to generate the new line character. Now you see the output is the huddle rise has been moved to the next line for me. Okay, like that. So generally what is going to happen is your browsers will be ignoring the new line characters and extra spaces are going to be ignored by the browser for us. If you want the new line to be added, then you have to use the HTML tags has to be used, like BR, we have to use it. Clear? Now you understood that NBSP part there. Okay, fine. So I'm using this paragraph tag, I'm using it, then I'm putting into the paragraph tag also. There is no much difference, will not be saying it there. Okay, right. Now if I don't want it, no, let us say that I don't want to use this NBSP, I don't want to use it. Okay, but still what I want it to use that space, I want to use that. Okay, so this space, right? So what we are given, if you look into the output, there is no space there. Now I want that space to be given. That is, as I have typed, my output should be coming. Now instead of using, we have another tag we are having in our HTML, what you call pre. So we have a tag called pre is there. So pre tag, when I'm using it, it is going to do the, it is going to display the text in the format, what we call it as pre-formatted text, we call it as, right? So we have the tag, we have a tag called pre-tag, we are having it. So this means it's called the pre-formatted text, we call it as. It's a pre-formatted text. So then what happens here in the pre-formatted text means it displays the text as it is. It displays the text without formatting. Okay, it's not going to do the formatting of the text, is not going to be done for you. Now here if you look in, there is a BR there. Now you see, okay, it has added a new line character for me. That these spaces and all, they are going to be printed as it is. That is called the pre-formatted text, it is called. So as you have designed it, you'll be seeing it. But most of the time, we are not going to use a pre-tag. It is left to you people, you want to use a pre-tag or not. But it is not suggested to use a pre-tag. Okay. So any other questions? So one has to remember is what is that important for us to remember is the browser is going to ignore the new line characters and white space characters are going to be ignored. Okay. And now let me explain, tell you something very important for you. Okay. Now I'm creating a Google Classroom, right? I'm going to the Google and then I'm using one of the facilities that are being given for us, what you call the Google Classroom. So what is the advantage of this Google Classroom is, see whatever the files I'm creating, okay, I want to show some demonstrations, I want to make it. For the demonstration purpose, I'm typing some HTML tags and all, I'm typing it. And as well as I may be writing some text, I'm writing it. So all these tags and all, I want to share with you. So one method, what you do is you write it down manually as I'm telling the classroom, you just make a note of it. Or what else we can do is, we can also have this, 1 minute.